Today we're talking about forehead lines. Now, people come into our clinic all the time for forehead lines, one of our most popular consultations we do here at Contour Clinics. And I'm going to tell you about why it's important to individualize assessments. Now, there are 4 different patterns of forehead musculature, and I'm going to show you what they are. So the first one is our full form. You can see the muscle goes all the way across the forehead. About 45% of the population have that. The second one is the Gullwing pattern, or the V-shaped pattern. About 30% of the population have that one. And you can see there's a little triangle there where there's no muscle. The third one is the central pattern. So the muscle's only really in the center. So in the center part of the forehead there, and about 10% of the population have that one. And the fourth and final one is our lateral one. So there's only muscle out towards the side there, and about 15% of the population have that. Now, why am I telling you that? It is really important in terms of assessment and the subsequent treatment that we qualify or quantify where your muscle is and what kind of dosages we may need to do to give you the most perfect result that's specific for you. Let's have a look how this looks in real life. So you can see this gentleman here has wrinkles going all the way across the forehead. Now, we would plan our treatments to spread across the entire forehead to treat the entire muscle. The other point I'll make about this gentleman is that you can see that his eyelids are already really heavy. Now, the reason he has such strong wrinkles there is that this muscle here is working overtime to keep his brows here out of his vision. Now, if I was to relax that muscle to remove the wrinkles, his brows would be right down here somewhere, and I would not be his best friend. So that is why we need to individualize treatments for a gentleman like this. Now, if we move on to the second pattern, you can see here how there is a lack of wrinkles in the middle, in that little triangle there. And again, that is our Gullwing pattern or our V-shaped pattern, and we will tailor our treatments specific to that type of pattern. About 30% of the population are going to have that pattern. The third one here, you can see that the wrinkles are only based centrally. So you can see centrally here that that's where they're based. So there would be no real reason for us to treat out towards the side because there's no muscle there. And the last and final one are the lateral ones. We are going to base our treatments around that aspect there. Also knowing very well that we have to be more careful there because that lateral part or outer part of the muscle is holding the brow up. So it can be more tricky in those patients. They make up about 15% of the population. And that is why it is really important to go to someone who really understands facial anatomy.